Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft studio. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to show you how to make my watercoloured framed scenes bookbinding card. So it opens like that, and this set here is amazing, and it's an online exclusive that I think might be missed. So you've got these really gorgeous scenes. All of these will work because you can have it portrait. And then with the dies you get this great little frame that we're using there, but you also get these little frames here as well, and this little bit. So it's a really lovely set, and I'll put the details in the description below as always, that will take you directly to the link to my online shop, because yeah, they've been out for a while, so they're kind of back through the online exclusives a little bit, but I really think it's worth having a look at because they're so pretty, and some of these can be used for Christmas time as well. So lovely. Okay, so let me tell you the supplies you need. You need a piece of Smoky Slate cardstock. This measures 4 1/8 by 11.5 inches, and I've gone ahead and I've scored this at 5 3/4 inches and at 4 1/8 here, so basically in half, and then at 4 1/8 as well to get that bookbinding bit. You need a piece of basic white cardstock which measures 4 inches by 4 inches, another which measures 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, and another which measures 4 by 1.5 inches. I think I'm missing one here. Let me just see if it's this one. Yeah, I think it is. This one measures 3 1/8 by 2 3/8, and we're going to stamp on this one. You need a piece of pattern paper, designer series paper, and this measures 3 7/8 by 1 3/8. This is from Country Woods, but obviously you can use whichever paper you'd like. And then this little frame I've cut from Cloud Cover cardstock, and this piece measures 3 inches by 3 3/4, but you know, whatever you need to get the frame out of here. Okay, so let's show you how to put this together. So like I say, I've scored these already, and this one here is going to come back on itself. So you folded it in half, and then this is going to come back on itself, and you put glue on this little piece here, and this is going to fold over, and that's going to be the little book opening there. Okay, so that's the first bit done, and then you're going to layer your designer series paper onto this piece of basic white. I love this set of papers, and I'm so happy it carried over from last year, because one, I had some left over, but I have bought more since because I use it a lot. It's great for backgrounds. Okay, so pop this onto the little panel on here. So as always, there'll be a small border all the way around. You can't really see where that border is on this side very easily. Now, there is a bit of a choice here. I wanted just this kind of small section of card here, and then the frame over. You can cut another piece of 4 by 4 if you wanted it to cover the complete piece, or you could emboss this layer, but I actually quite like it with that little detail there, which is, you know, why I did it. So I'm going to emboss this layer, and I'm using exposed brick embossing folder, which is one of my favorites. So I'm going to emboss this, and I'll be right back. Here we go. And then while I've got the cutting machine out, I'm just going to cut my little frame out of this piece. So again, I'll be right back. Okay, let's get that little middle piece as well. All right, so get rid of that small piece. We're just going to get our frame out. And just a little tip, when you're taking it out of here, sometimes it stretches a little bit with some of these bits. I'll show what I mean here. Well, I didn't do it then. Down the end bit, sometimes it can stretch a bit, but they'll pop back into place like that. Kind of reminds me of those old, do you remember at Fates used to tear off the lottery or the lucky dip numbers? It reminds me of that feel on here. It's going way back. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp our image. Where did I put that piece? Here. So this is the smallest piece you've got. So this time we're going to do a portrait one. And I'm going to do this little scene with a house. Or should I do the tree house one? I might do the tree house one actually. Ink up in Memento ink. And you're just going to stamp this in the center here. So I've measured this so that it will, you know, be able to fit in the frame really nicely here. Ta-da. And then I've got a selection of watercolor pencils here. You don't have to be the greatest at colouring to do this. Here's how I did in my other one. But so I'm just going to take a selection of pencils, like garden green. I've got granny apple green there. Probably early espresso maybe. What's this one? Cajun. Don't really like Cajun very much. Pecan is my preferred. And I might do a little bit of kind of blue. What do I want? Coastal, maybe coastal. Yeah, let's start with those. But you can do whichever colours you like, obviously. So I'm just going to start off by colouring some of the darker bits of the tree here. Actually, I'll need some early espresso as well for those branches. So yeah, I'm just kind of going over these shadowy bits, but I might do a little bit higher on some of them. And like I say, you don't have to be particularly good at colouring to do this. So I'm just shading a few various bits, and then I'm going to come over and do some granny apple green as well, just to give a bit of contrast. Trying to think of the word. So you can see I'm just doing it quite sketchy. I'm not even colouring particularly well, not going up to the lines and things. And then actually, did I get... Oh, I did get early espresso out, so I'm just going to do these branches and the tree trunk. Again, I'm just doing it quite sketchy. You can do it lighter in places if you don't want it all to come out. Do some garden green grass. Then I think my little house, I might make it kind of coastal cabana just to make it nice and bright. Do this bit up here, and then maybe some pecan pie for this bit. You see, it's just, I'm doing quite lightly on this one. I don't want it to be too coloured. And then I might do this a little bit in this and the swing. And then actually behind the ladder of the tree, you would see this. So let's do that. So you can see I've been really just quite quick and sketchy there. And then I'm using one of our blender pens. Now these come in a pack of 3. I'll put the details below. These are excellent. So each time you change the bit you're colouring in, the colour. Oh, I didn't colour the door. I'll do that in a second. You just go like this to run it clear, and then come back onto the colours you've got on here. So I'm just going to go over the garden green bits here first. So it just leaves you without pencil lines basically, and fills in those gaps where you haven't been. A bit of down here as well. So it's quite nice. It just makes it look like you've watercoloured this. And then I'm going to go over the lemon lime. It's not lemon lime, it's granny, sorry. So it instantly makes you an artist, which is amazing. And then, oh, I didn't do a bit behind here. Let's cut it in between. And then let's do the roof. You can take your time so you're not going over the edges like I am. And then the tree trunk. I love blender pens. These are so magical. I'll go over a little bit of the branches. And then what kind of door shall I have? I might have, I can go pink, why not? It's my tree house. I would do what I want. Okay, and then, oh, actually behind the tree, behind the ladder here, we'd have a little bit of tree colour as well. How cute is that? And so quick and easy. So let's frame it. Okay. Okay, so because this is obviously a lot smaller than the frame, I'm just going to put some glue around the very edge of the frame here. If you're not confident in doing that, just put some dots along like this, just around the inside of the frame. And then pop your little picture in. Have a look on the other side and check that you've got it where you want it to be. Over press it down. Did that move? Oh no, it's a little bit. I'm going to press it down on this side. Again, take your time with all these bits. But how sweet is that? And then, so for this one, do we need that bit? I don't think we do. You can use that for a little tag or something. So for this one, I'm going to do a portrait one just to show you how that sits on there. And like this one I offset, and you absolutely can do it straight, but I might offset this one as well. Yeah, I've done the brick round that way, so I can't really turn it around, but I think I like it that way anyway. So you could either have it, actually let's go with that. Okay, so stick this down flat, this embossed layer. But you see there's so many ways you can have this, and just by having this as a shorter piece, you can create different looks. So I'm just having that equal border to that little fold, and then yeah, this time maybe we'll just go straight, and you could, it doesn't even have to go in the middle across there, it can come over a bit. Quite like it there actually. So I'm going to pop some dimensionals on. But it's so versatile, this set, and you can have it nice and bright, you can have muted colours, however you choose really. So it's a fun set to have. Oh, come on, Tracy. That's fun. Okay, yeah, so I might bring it down here. And then I just wanted to keep things simple, so I'm just going to tie a little bow from, what's this called? Baker's Twine. I can't think what it was called. So you need about 7.5 inches there. I don't know if that's what I've got. So you can either do a bunny ears bow where you put 2 loops together and tie them in a knot, or you can just do a regular bow here. That's not a bad one for tying a bow on camera. And actually I'm just going to trim that little end off. With Baker's Twine, to trim it you need to pull it quite taut. Okay, so that's going to go up here. I'm going to roll up a little blue dot, and mine have come unravelled to the side of it, so I'm just going to take one off. Just roll it up a little bit. Pop it in the corner there, and then you're going to stick this on. So sweet. And then I'm finishing off with some rhinestone, and then I'm just going to pop them, where did I put them on this one? Over there. I might just put one down here, up in this corner I think, and then too central, maybe about there. And then inside we've got our layer here, which I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday, and this is from every time I forget it, Beauty, Unbounded Beauty, something like that. Oh, again, I'll put it in the notes below. So I'm just stamping in, it's upside down, Smoky Slate. It's a really nice font. So pop this one in with glue. Around the right way. Little border all the way around. And there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed making my watercoloured frame scenes bookbinding card Take care. See you soon. Bye.